Last time on the 20-Sided Realms.
So, Burble was your name, right?
Yeah, Burble Brizzleband. We got a variety of slugs. Really anything you need a slugs for. Well, anyway, so you guys want to get some of these scarecrows out of our dang fields. That's wonderful.
About midnight, about the witching hour, a wooden claw pierce the ground not too far away from the slug pen. They have pulled themselves out of the ground and they're menacingly moving towards the pen of feeder slugs. Everyone, roll initiative. Kevon the Mighty, you are the first to react. You are inside your slug blind.
Slug blind.
You are quite confident that these scarecrows have not noticed you, as they seem to be moving straight for the pen of slimy slugs.
I think, are they close to me?
Your blind is set up not too far away from the pins, I imagine. They're on the opposite side of the pin is where they came out of the ground. You could reach them if you so wanted to.
I'm just going to run up to one of them and just swing away.
As you stand up, the lean-to that you have created just kind of like, it just falls apart around you. You make a mighty roar, draw your great sword, and charge directly at the nearest scarecrow. You swing really hard. Your great sword cleaves the bulbous pumpkin head. You do take a massive chunk of it off, and it digs into the arm. In your mind, you thought that these creatures would just like fall apart with a single swing, but your sword actually gets stuck in his shoulder for a moment, and you yank it back. Its lifeless eyes turn to you. The pumpkin mouth turns up into a grin. Burble! You are the next to act. You are inside the hut. You are within eyesight of your mighty steed, Spork. What does the mighty Burble do?
Oh, Spork! Speed mode activate! This stuff is getting hot and heavy!
And with that, Burble jumps out of the hut, and you can see from behind him, he reaches behind his little kind of gnarled netted cloak, and he pulls something out, and it appears to click in place, and it's actually a bow that has been disjointed, and he creates it on the fly. He runs outside of the building, and Spork backtracks to end his movement right in front of Burble. Burble then takes out an arrow, and he says,
Oi, looks like you got that one hit already!
and he flings his arrow towards the pumpkin skull of the scarecrow that Kevon already has attacked. 25 to hit.
Your arrow slams into the already damaged pumpkin head.
9 damage.
The arrow is stuck in this pumpkin's pulpy skull. Penelope, you are currently tucked away inside this illusionary slug body.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Question, before I do anything, do any of these scarecrows look like they're about to walk into the traps we set?
The one that Kevon is fighting is not anywhere particularly near, but the other two certainly are approaching, because you set them out in a cleverly perimeter around the pins, and those other two are ignoring and still going straight towards the pins. So yes, it does look like they are precariously close to triggering some of your traps.
Okay, I'm gonna run a little bit closer to those ones that are close to the trap, and as I run, my minor illusion will fall away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to shoot an arrow at one of the ones and knock it into the trap.
Unfortunately, as you dash across the field, the arrow flies a little too high.
I blame the slug slime. I was slipping on it, so I'm not my best right now.
This is a pretty filthy place.
Chaz, you were crouched behind Kavan's slug blind. It has bursted away in this chaos. It has set up a perfect opportunity for you to make your move.
I'm making my move. It's time. The time is now. Okay, so Chaz is disguising himself as a scarecrow using the basic design from the dead one we looked at earlier.
Perfect.
But as discussed, this scarecrow is wearing a T-shirt so that nobody makes a mistake. It is the T-shirt says the Loaf and Kettle Bread Bowl Challenge '98 first place.
Yeah.
And so nobody hurt me, okay?
He's wearing a tea tunic.
That's right. So yeah, Chaz is gonna kind of look at the remaining healthy scarecrows out there and kind of try to mimic their actions. You just put his arms out, stumble around a little bit, make some whatever noises they're making. He's gonna try to make that too. I don't know. Is that what they're making, Travis?
Yeah. Imagine your mouth is full of pumpkin seeds.
And so this is so my turn is all about just setting up my cover, So I'm up there. I'm in the mix. Yeah.
Your disguise is quite convincing.
Nice.
The scarecrows now leap into action. First, the one face to face with you, Kavan. You feel its empty, dead sockets of eyes almost see straight through you, and the hair on your back, on the back of your neck, stands straight up. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Kavan.
Oh boy.
I got a 16.
You look deep into these lifeless, empty sockets, and you see yourself in that darkness, and you feel no fear. His terrifying glare washes over you, and your resolve is steadfast. One of the scarecrows that you shot at, Penny, lurches forward, and unfortunately for it does go right into one of your traps.
Yes.
It fails its dexterity saving throw and falls over prone.
Perfect.
It then picks itself back up, but is unable to get close enough to do anything to either Slug nor the Sweet Penny.
Thank goodness.
The third scarecrow is just lumbering straight for the pit of slugs. He comes upon another trap and falls down and trips terribly, and he is not even able to pick himself back up yet. So one is prone, the other has picked himself back up and moving towards Penny, and the other one is currently engaged with the mighty Kavan. But wait, there's more.
Oh no.
The one, Penny, that you shot an arrow at and that tripped and picked itself back up is close enough to you that it catches your eyes. Your eyes lock together. And although its eye sockets are dark, there almost is some sort of menacing light behind them. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as well, Penny.
15.
But like the mighty Kavan, you look into the darkness and you find only resolve. Dolan, Shingle Splinter.
Okay.
The Great Shadow.
Yeah. So, as I'm in the house, I'm, chopping up stuff with the knife, and then I hear the commotion. I stop, and then I run outside, and I still got the knife in my hand, and I see one struggling with Kavan, and that's when I'll throw the kitchen knife like a dagger at the pumpkin that's attacking Kavan. Ooh, I hit.
Doing a mighty 10 points of damage, the creature still stands.
As a bonus action, my roguish bonus action, I want to step away and maybe try to hide behind something, like maybe one of the pins or a barrel that's conveniently placed someplace.
You're going to disengage using your roguish ability to distract him, and you move away, not provoking an opportunity attack.
Yes.
Kavan the Mighty. There is still one severely damaged scarecrow in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep swinging, I think. That's what I do best.
Kavan the Mighty, you swing away, and this scarecrow creature is lithe and quick and ducks right below your mighty swing. Burble, what doest thou?
With an almost eerily quick movement, Spork slides across a slime trail right up next to Kavan. Out of his mouth, the huge tongue that is covered in pink spikes swipes at the pumpkin head.
So the tongue covered in Barbies.
That tongue exactly, yes. 21 AC.
Spork's mighty barbed tongue lashes out at the scarecrow, and there's a sizzling sound that happens once it connects with its cloth and straw. It does a mighty 9 points combination of slashing and acid damage.
Nice.
This mighty attack from Spork is enough that the life almost seems to just completely drop out of this scarecrow. It crumbles to the floor in a pile, and there's a sudden flash or burst of purplish light that seems to escape it as it stops and crumbles to the floor.
Do we track where it goes? Can we follow it?
No, it's almost like a flash bomb.
good.
There's just like this flash of purple light, and then it crumbles to the floor. You see a remnants on your eyes of the light. It was very bright. Little sunspot is left behind.
And with that, Spork takes a quick U-turn and slides right back in front of Burble, just as Burble is pulling his bow back again, and he takes aim at the scarecrow that had fallen and had stood back up. 13 to hit.
13 does just get through the scarecrow's defenses as another arrow plummets into his pumpkin head.
8 damage.
Good one, Spork. I always thought you was the bestest of slugs.
Penelope, you see the head before you lurch forward as an arrow sprouts forth from it. What do you do?
But it's still standing.
It's still standing and moving towards you.
Well, honestly, I feel a little embarrassed that I goofed it last time, especially in front of another ranger. So I'm going to just take a quick second and click my boots together and try to get some of the slime off of my boots so I have really strong footing. And I'm going to take aim again and try to shoot it right in the middle of the pumpkin, right in the face.
Your arrow flies true and goes right into its eye socket, protrudes out of its meaty skull. Now, with 2 arrows sticking out of his head, continues to advance towards you. The mighty Chaz, you are being completely ignored by these scarecrow creatures as you approach.
Perfect.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna come up behind Penny and go, "Roar," and then I'm gonna swipe my branches at Penny, but I'm gonna just barely miss the top of her cap.
My hat!
That's it.
Perfect.
Chaz is fully in character. The scarecrow sees an opportunity to flank Penny with one of his fellow scarecrows to assist. You see the scarecrow's terrible claws form a thumb up motion to Chaz.
Chaz mirrors this motion.
As the scarecrow moves forward, it attempts to swipe and tear Penny's very flesh from her bones.
Can I take any sort of opportunity attack as a reaction to this, or am I just totally off guard by this?
Unfortunately, no. The first of its claws does connect. You feel it tear into your flesh.
Oh no.
And
Ouch!
It is truly horrifying. As his claws connect with you, there's a little purple flame that seems to ignite in its empty sockets. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Dang, that's
Yay.
good. 18.
Rolling an 18, your resolve is strong, and as its other claw comes to your other side, it unfortunately critically successful in its roll. It rolls a critical hit.
Do I have any strength left in me to shove some good berries in my mouth, or no? No.
No.
Okay.
But
I got
I
them
mean,
in my
someone
pockets.
else certainly could. Unfortunately, this means that the second attack is 9 points of damage. So you have suffered a total of 15 damage from these two attacks.
Yep.
I'm
unconscious.
Oh no!
I'm very unconscious. Like that I just when I'm taken aback and I just like my little gnome feet fly up in the air and I just crash to the ground.
Luckily, you crash right at the feet of the disguised Chaz. Dolan.
Now, listen, I see. You know what? I don't see that. That's behind me. In my point of view, I don't see what's happening back there. So I'm going to continue with what I was doing because my focus has been on the one that's on Kavan. So, so there's one more that's near Kavan, and then one of them is up there with Penelope and Chaz. So what I'm going to do is I will do a roguish action to dash over and to get into a melee range with one of the scarecrows, the scarecrow that's not in front of Penny, and I'm going to attack it. Oh boy, that's a critical.
You lunge forward and plant your rapier firmly into the creature's bulk, doing a mighty 13 points of damage.
And then I say, the shadow is always moving silently, and then it strikes.
And it says, it doesn't talk.
No, it doesn't.
Kavan the Mighty. You see Dolan dart towards one of it and plunge it with his rapiers. You see Penny get knocked down by a terrible swipe to your left. What do you do?
Well, I mean, seeing that, it puts me in a rage. You know, I get really upset seeing Penny get dropped. One of my friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get really angry. I cry out, "Don't hurt my friends!" And I'm gonna run up and recklessly attack. Not Chaz. I think I have enough sense.
He sees the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Listen, it was discussed before that he's going to have a tunic that's going to have a bread bowl on it. And, you know, so...
Yeah,
What
I'm gonna
scraps
attack.
of clothing is the other one wearing, though?
It's wearing like a dinner jacket.
Okay.
But like a really tattered, bad dinner jacket. You roll a critical hit, dealing a mighty amount of damage. 18 points of damage in one single swipe. You easily cleave this creature in twain. There's another burst of purple light that flashes before your eyes, and it crumbles to the floor and is no more. The mighty Burble.
Burble kind of raises his eyes as he sees the pumpkin head go smashing. And he looks over to the fellow gnome on the ground. He says,
Oh, lordy, let me help you out here.
and he walks over and he grabs some berries out of her pocket and he stuffs them in her mouth and he makes her jaws open and close.
Yeah, just chew it all up, lady. Chew it all up.
Penelope, you instantly awaken from the darkness.
Thank you.
You have one hit point, and also you're quite full and satisfied. You couldn't even imagine having dinner at this point.
Yeah, I don't really think about dinner as the first thing when I'm coming back from being dead, so that tracks.
Well, okay. I guess each to their own. Burble, the movement and the action of grabbing forth the berries and so expertly applying it to Penny's gullet will be the whole of your action. Does Spork do anything?
There's one scarecrow and one faux scarecrow still around.
Yes, indeed.
Spork kind of looks to Burble and he looks to the gnome, and it looks like Burble's just mushing the jaws open and close, and Spork is waiting for kind of some direction, and there's no direction, so Spork just stands there
and takes his defensive sluggish stance. Penelope, you are prone, mouthful of berry. What do you want to do?
Well, can I get up, or can I use that as my action to just get up?
So you get up, and essentially that means that takes half your movement to get up. So you could only move 15 more feet. But as you're getting up, you could grab your bow that you.
Yeah. Do I have the
dropped.
strength to attack to lift my bow?
Oh yes, you are. You're a
barely.
great hero.
Of course. All right, and I also have the sense to know which one is not Chaz.
It takes you a split second.
Yeah, I'm a little disoriented. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I hope I'm making the right call, and I'm gonna shoot at the one that is still kind of close to Chaz. Woo!
It hits true. The scarecrow takes an arrow to the back of the head. It pays you no mind, for all of its attention is focused on the great Dolan Shingle Splinter, the Shadow. Chaz Quartermain, what do you do?
Chaz is going to start booking it over the horizon. He's going to go. He's going to start running away, just away from the farm. But as he's doing so, he's trying to get the attention of the last remaining scarecrow. Like we gotta go, we gotta go. He's waving his spindly hands all over his head and everything. And he's trying to like wave along this other scarecrow.
Give me a deception roll.
Chaz is waving his spindly arms over his head. He's running as fast as the scarecrow form will take him. He's motioning towards the last remaining scarecrow, like we gotta go, like trying to get him to safety too. But Chaz rolled a 2 + 4 on his deception, so Chaz is just looking like a fool, just running like a scarecrow off into the distance. That's the last you see of Chaz.
You do gain the scarecrow's attention for a split moment, but it turns its head quickly back towards the terrible Dolan. Dolan, you see out of your peripheral vision a lightning fast claw strike coming to your right. And it connects with you. As its claws dig into your flesh, your heart is filled with this terrible feeling of dread. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
Well, my body isn't as flexible or strong as it used to be, but my mind is as strong as it's ever been. I've been more sure of myself than ever before. Here we go. There you go. Roll the 20.
Nothing scares you, and you came well prepared for this. And the second strike of the terrible claw from the scarecrow is deflected by your kitchen knife. At this point, the scarecrow darts away from you, allowing you, Dolan, to make one attack of opportunity if you so wish.
Heck yeah.
You slice it with your rapier, opening up its lovely little cloak that it was wearing. Some straw spills forth from it, and it is darting towards the hole that it came out of the ground from. And it jumps into that hole and seems to quickly disappear down into the darkness. What do you all want to do?
First, I gotta examine my hat, make sure there's no damage to the hat.
The only real damage was a little bit of blood got on the hat. It's your blood, you know.
We can remove that.
Cold water. You
soda.
want to soak it. As soon as you can. If you have a water skin on you right now, I'd probably get that.
Yeah, I'm getting the water skin out, and I'm like really messed up, but I have my priorities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I see that Penny is being tended to in the hat. Now I want to examine that hole.
Okay.
Is it big enough for all of us to climb into? Even Kavan?
The size of the hole, it would be a bit of a squeeze for Dolan, but everyone else, well,
Kavan.
actually, even Kavan, The bottom half of Kavan's body going to slide down the hole real simple. It's when we get to the shoulders that he's going to have a little bit of a trouble.
Okay.
But it is pretty dark, and it does seem to be rather deep, actually.
So, all right. Now, does anybody have more healing for Penny? None of us heal.
I think we used up all my good berries because I was in such a bad place that
You make 10 good berries like at the day, and each one recovers 1 hit point. So you've consumed 1 right now. If you didn't want to take a short rest to try to recuperate, you could down a handful of those good berries and recover more hit points. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Every good berry, 1 hit point.
Eat them all. Eat all the good berries.
Okay. I guess I'll eat
You
9
want to
more
save
good
1
berries.
for emergency.
Nope. I'm gonna eat
No,
9 of them
okay.
right now.
Yes.
And a short rest takes about an hour. And I mean, although we have 2 rangers in here, if we give that scarecrow an hour lead time, our Corey's on the move. We need to get there quickly. I don't trust the tracks it leaves to get us there.
Chaz, could you give me a perception check?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna give you that perception check here in just a minute. So what I'm doing is I've come back over the horizon. I'm still kind of looking like a big old scarecrow wearing a t-shirt. It says Loaf and Kettle Bread Bowl Champion 98. But we're coming back to the party, kind of looking a little bit sheepish here. Sorry for doing nothing during the fight and then running away. But I am coming back to myself and being perceptive.
You had a plan. The fact that it didn't exactly pan out as you planned, that's okay. But you went for it.
He's a young guy. He's figuring life out,
Hey, at the end of the day, it protected you. You received no damage that fight.
Yeah, but my pumpkin face right now is looking just a little bit sad anyway, because I did kind of abandon my friends and Penny fell down again this fight, but that's all right.
Just to establish, you rolled a natural 1 on that perception check, so you're being very introspective right now, and perhaps not super perceptive.
Yeah, you're caught up in your feelings.
He physically can't see out of the pumpkin head, is the way I assume it.
All right, what's the plan? As Penny is munching down on her last good berry, she's feeling quite better. Most of the superficial cuts that she has have knitted themselves back together. The blood stain on your hat looks like it's going to come out no problem.
It's cleaned up.
I mean, I can just see this tiny little gnome with a wet hat just stuffing berries one at a time in their mouth.
We've all been there, Don't judge me.
And just sitting there looking sad. And then, like, when he gets to the last berry, it's like you're like, I can't eat anymore, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And just
Because
eat it.
each berry does satisfy you like a full day's rations. So it does get a little hard getting to that last berry.
I feel pretty bloated right now.
So let's crawl down in that hole. So guys, I think if we're all good, I think we should try to squeeze down into that hole where the creatures came from. We need to track it, get to the bottom of this thing. Now's our chance. Who's with me?
I have dark vision, so I think I'm ready. I feel prepared.
Does Penny want to take point on this whole expedition?
I'm torn because, Penny's had some pretty bad luck lately. I'll say to the group, I can go in front because I can see, but you know what? I'm still kind of a little shook up, fellas. Does anyone else feel up to the task of leading the way?
Well, I am a scarecrow.
Burble's got dark vision.
Sorry, all the excitement from this fight. My voice may sound slightly different than it was before, but it's still me. It's me, Burble.
No, it's perfect, dude.
Yeah, I can see down in there pretty well. So yeah, let's go. We need to book it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm pulling out my sword and my dagger. Get ready to do this.
As you begin to climb down this hole, it is certainly rough and rooty enough that there's plenty of purchase for your hands and your legs. The one who truly has the most difficulty would be Kavan. His shoulder width makes it quite a tight squeeze, but you're able to, almost kind of like, now your elbows haven't touched each other in probably a good 10 years. Because of the massive pectoral muscles. But you do your best and slide down towards the end. Actually, you get down to the bottom of the hole and it opens up into a tunnel that's going both behind and in front of you. So the tunnel extends two directions. But you see Kavan's little legs are like kind of like dangling, and he has become quite stuck at the very end of the hole.
All right, let's get it. I'm gonna start grabbing one leg, one ankle, and trying to yank it down.
Can you give me an athletics check?
An athletics check. Okay, I could do that. I'm an athlete. Once an athlete, always an athlete. Ooh, -1.
You put all of your weight into it, and
his foot comes off. It's a fake foot this whole time. He was maimed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kavan does pop right out of the hole. There's a good little sound as he pops out, but unfortunately, his massive mass collapses right on top of you, Dolan.
Oof.
And you're going to take 1 point of lower back damage.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's
Very
my worst
specific.
spot. Ah, jeez. So what is that, like a disadvantage to bending over?
No, you're going to take 1 point of damage, but instead of it being slashing, piercing, or fire damage, it's lower back damage. It's a specific type of damage,
which I am not resistant to, so it's actually double damage.
At this point, no. So what this means, though, is now that you've taken 1 point of lower back damage, if you take any additional lower back damage, you will actually be vulnerable to any additional lower back damage that you receive this day. So that means any more lower back damage you take, it's going to be double. Listen, it's in the rule book.
I got 10 hit points left and 1 LB damage.
You just need to mark down you're now vulnerable to lower back damage.
Well, we'll remember that. I'll put it in my personality
until you take a long rest or get a cold compress.
Get some icy hot on that.
Should I get muscle relaxer in me?
Should have saved a good berry.
Yeah, I think we've just made a very fun mechanic for Dolan. I like this.
This is ongoing.
Lower back vulnerability.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can level out of that, buddy.
No,
all right,
I think I'm stuck.
Not really something that goes away.
Yeah, once it's there, it's there. Surgery doesn't help. That's a myth. It just makes it worse. Get you addicted to Vicodin. I digress. Penny, can you give me a survival check?
Of course I can. Okay, that was great.
Excellent. A question. What light source are we using down here? Because the humans, unfortunately, it's pitch black. You could see practically nothing down here.
We could just hold hands.
I'm partial to the mage hand with torch myself, but
Let's do a torch hand.
all right.
Chaz has gotten his traditional torch hand going. Penny, even with the added light of the torch, you are easily able to find these bizarre scarecrow tracks. They look like a combination between a chicken and an elephant.
Chelephant.
Yes.
Quite the combo.
Yeah, it's basically like a really heavy chicken. The mass of these scarecrows is surprising to you.
Mm-hmm.
They leave quite deep tracks, but you can tell that they are certainly, and your gnome senses let you know that that the tunnel heading west is absolutely the direction
Yeah.
that the scarecrow led.
So, Burble, have you ever been in any of these tunnels? Did you know about these, or is this the first you've seen of these scarecrow tunnels?
No, I've never seen any tunnels. I mean, it's not like they're big gophers or anything. This is kind of weird because I feel like we would have seen these before, and this is totally not something made up on the fly at all. This is just weird. Yeah.
And it's confusing too, because like you live underground. I would think that maybe you would have heard them too.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I did roll a 22 on my survival check. I feel very like with it right now.
Perhaps, Burble, you could explain how there's lots of sounds underground.
There's lots of sounds underground. Yeah, so there's mice under the ground, and there's worms under the ground, and then sometimes the baby slugs, they kind of dig under the ground. Speaking of slugs, I told Spork to head home because he ain't gonna fit in this tunnel with us.
Yeah, poor Spork. Yeah, sometimes there's snakes and squirrels. There's ground squirrels. You heard of ground squirrel before? They live in the ground down there.
Yeah.
Beetles, like a lot of little beetles running around in there. Snakes.
I'm convinced. Okay.
Umber hulks.
Dolan's got my back on this one.
Yeah. Now, does it look like? Here's the thing. I mean, I wouldn't know, but it seems to me that he'd be like, "Well, does this look freshly dug?" Or is it? You know what I'm saying? Are these like tunnels that have been here for a while, or is this something that seems newer? I'm trying to tell.
These don't look freshly dug at all. These things look like them tracks is fresh, but this tunnel ain't fresh at all.
All right, well, the plot thickens.
Does anyone have detect magic? Like, I just think it's like really weird that these tunnels are so established, but no one's ever seen them before, right?
Does Chaz have any access to any sort of magical detection in his repertoire?
No, nothing really useful.
Hard
like that.
no.
Well, Chaz, you could give me an Arcana check because you did go to the Neverwinter school for boys whose parents don't care for them much, and they are known to have a quite robust magical library.
Yeah, I mean, rigorous academics if you're into that kind of thing. I got a 22 on my Arcana check. So
Yes, so it is certainly possible. There are plenty of arcane ways that tunnels like this can be dug. You can't be sure of whether this was done naturally by animals, if these are naturally existing, or if they were done by an arcane means. But you know that it's certainly possible that they were done using some sort of mold earth spell or something of that nature. Yeah, it's been established. It looks like they've been here for a long time.
I'm going to spread my branchy hands to either side of this tunnel and say, I think this could be a magical tunnel. Very possible. Very possible. Except I say it all garbled through my pumpkin head.
With a mouthful of pumpkin seeds.
Magic all around us.
The tracks are not getting any fresher.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The party then lines up in linear fashion and continues down. There are actually a few branching tunnels. This tunnel network seems to be rather extensive. And Penny, you certainly believe that there is a gradient to the tunnels, that you are going deeper and deeper beneath the earth as you continue. At each intersection, you are able to easily discern where the tracks are. And eventually you come to a intersection where there's another tunnel branching off, and then there is a big sort of opening that it seems to be more of a cavern up ahead.
I think, well, Burble's up front, right? Is that what we landed on? No Spork, but Burble's up front. Yeah. I think we should venture into this opening, this larger opening, but like with caution. Like, I have a sense that maybe, I don't know, there might be somebody in there hanging out.
As you cautiously enter into this larger cavern, there are actually, this seems to be more of a stone than dug out earth. This is an established cave that seems to be underneath the earth here outside of the magical city of Waterdeep. And inside this cave, there are a few stalagmites as well as stalactites.
Wow. Hey, so underneath the city of Waterdeep, it's all the multiple levels of the maze of the Mad Wizard.
That is very true.
Could this, since this is kind of stone, you said like these walls are kind of stone, more like
It's
a
a
cave?
natural stone cave, not a work stone. Being outside the gates, it's certainly possible for there to be entrances to the Undermountain, but you don't get the sense that this is somehow connected to the Undermountain.
Because I still remember the troll and the Sturgies, and I know there's all sorts of crazy stuff in the Undermountain. So I want to make sure that we didn't accidentally stumble into the Undermountain right now.
Oh, you guys have seen Sturgies before, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. We were at this tavern, and like the food wasn't as good. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if you're ever in town, you gotta come by the Loaf and Kettle, right? Blood bowls, blood bowls, bread bowls.
Wow.
Bread bowls are business, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, we send quite a few of our carts in that direction often, so yeah, it sounds like a great place to go.
As Burble is saying this, he's kind of looking around the corner, and he's like,
Hey, Spock, what are you doing down here? Get over here.
What?
Naughty slug.
In the cave, at this point beyond where the torch reaches, but he slugs in to the torchlight, and you see the mighty Mount Spork is just inside the cave.
This is strange indeed here. I don't... Spock, how'd you get down here?
and I kind of shimmy over there, and I kind of run around the corner a bit out of the sight of the torchlight.
The torch hand.
Yeah, the torch hand. So for a moment you lose sight of Burble, and you hear some like thumping and crashing.
Oh, no.
What it was? Hey, what? Hey, what's going on here? Hey.
All right, so let's guys, let's go. Let's move. I'm gonna pull. I already had my weapons drawn, so I'm gonna move towards where they were going. Sounds like there could be a fracas or a commotion.
As the torch hand hovers into the room, you come around the corner and you see that there are several tables with straw and pumpkins and pieces of wood spread out on them. There's also a big desk that just is littered with some papers and tools. There is certainly some sort of activity that is going on down inside this cave. Burble, you see, is next to one of these tables. He seems to be rummaging around on it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's see these papers.
All right, that's close enough. There, ladies and gentlefolk.
What?
I feel like I gave yous all plenty of opportunity to find out that there's nothing to worry about here and to just get all the gnomes to do what they're supposed to do, and that is to go on with our natural lives, right? But no, you just had to get your weaselly little kid noses into everything. And I would have gotten away with it, too.
Oh, this is a Scooby-Doo situation, huh?
Indeed, this is. As Burble is giving you this monologue, the dark shell necklace begins to glow with a purpley light.
Yes, I was trying to hide my purple light whenever the scarecrows was about. Luckily, you're all as blind as bats and didn't see it.
So, Burble, are you not a ranger?
Oh, I'm very much a rangers, but I'm rangers from the underside. See, the problem is, we had a beautiful society, and we did all sorts of wonderful things and had so much fruitful society and natures about us. And then these stinking forest gnomes came in and said that...
How dare you?
We needed to go up above the ground, and we need to expand, and we needed to, make more monies and see the world. We don't need that. Slugs need to be in their regular homes, which is underground. They don't like it up here. You just talk to them, they'll tell you they don't like the sunlight. It dries them up, and they get all scaly like an old lady's hands.
Spork shakes his slimy head vigorously at this part of the speech.
But
So I was
you've
just
been-
trying to be nice, and scares them back, scares them away, so then we'd all go back down to our rightful home.
Why don't you just talk to them about it?
Okay, I think he's all was at the city council meeting earlier, and you can understand my situation here. So I had a nice long sit down with Jerry and the rest of the folks, but that old fuddy-duddy don't listen to no reason. And so I gave up. I couldn't convince them anymore. They weren't budging off of their silly little scheme to make a horde size of make a dragon jealous. And that's what they all wanted. But it ain't about the money. It's about us living like our ancestors did. So I had to take matters into my own hands. I came across this funny little necklace here. It kind of helps me out, which is pretty awesome if you ask me.
We tricked them all, didn't we, boss? And Chaz, dressed as a scarecrow, goes up to stand next to Burble. We really showed them. These guys didn't see it coming.
This is what we calls the long con, ladies and gentlemen. He's been with me the whole time.
What?
Pumpkins don't really wink, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do like a little head tilt, like I'm trying to wink, Like,
Is this true, Chaz?
and I'm gonna take a big ol' sticky hand and slap Burble. Just gonna slap him.
I think that means that it is time for us to roll initiative. Oh, Burble, this can't be true. Not you too, Spork. Will our companions have to defeat their new friends in bloody battle? Find out next time on the 20-Sided Realms.
Wizard needs food badly.
Intro music composed by Symphonikev, and again the soundscapes created by Sirenscape.com. Thank you so much for listening to the 20-Sided Realms. If you liked what you heard, please share it with others. Until next time.